Hi, everyone. I'm Victor Glover from Pomona, California. I'm a Navy commander and NASA astronaut. I previously was a test pilot in the F-18, and now I work for NASA and just had the privilege of flying the SpaceX Crew Dragon to the International Space Station for a 6-month mission as a part of Expedition 64 and 65. So I grew up in Southern California. I was born in Pomona and moved around quite a bit. So I claim all of Southern California as home. Lived in Orange County, lived in Los Angeles County, San Bernardino County, and I graduated from Ontario High School. And all along the way, I always had a very supportive family, and I was very fortunate to have teachers like Mr. Hargrove, who was my 5th grade science teacher at Allison Elementary School, who told me that if I studied hard and focused, that I could make a great engineer one day. And back then in 5th grade, I did not know what an engineer was. I actually thought that meant you drove trains. But his belief in me to this day is one of the reasons that I had gone on and pursued a career in science and technology. And then later in life, I would go off and join the Navy and become a test pilot. And that was mainly due to the influence of sports in college. I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and being a member of the football team and the wrestling team really impacted me. I loved studying engineering and having a few summer jobs. I knew I wasn't ready to give up that camaraderie, that team spirit, small, high performing groups that go into these challenging environments and accomplish a mission. I wasn't ready to give that up to go sit in a cubicle and design widgets. I wanted to use the widgets. And when I started looking into it, I had a mentor at Cal Poly who was in the Navy Reserve, and he handed me a brochure about the baccalaureate degree completion program. And that was all she wrote. I actually, at the time, wanted to be a Navy SEAL. I was in a lot better shape, mainly due to wrestling. And I looked into it and wound up choosing aviation, as it was a great combination with an engineering degree. And my dad actually told me in 1998, as I was preparing to join the Navy, he says, with an engineering degree from Cal Poly and then being a pilot, you never know, you might wind up being an astronaut. I had found out I got accepted to test pilot school, the Air Force test pilot school in Southern California. And so I moved my family coast to coast to Edwards Air Force Base, California, and went to test pilot school, which is a 48-week course. It's essentially a 1-year training program where you learn the fundamentals of flying. And so this was like, if I compare flight school to medical school, this was like residency, an intense residency. It was 1 year, but one really intense year of graduate level training on the ground. And then our laboratories were different airplanes. I flew 737s, the Goodyear blimp. I flew the MiG-15, the G222 in Italy. I loved being a test pilot. One of the best jobs I have ever had. I just came back from space, and I'm still telling you that one of the best jobs I've ever had was being a project officer and test pilot. I had to apply to a Navy board to be selected so that I could then apply to NASA, to the astronaut candidate program. And nowadays, NASA puts out the announcement and everyone is directed to apply directly to the NASA astronaut candidate announcement on USA Jobs. And from there, a process happens where we evaluate resumes and we select a group to be interviewed, a bigger one at first. We thin that down to a smaller group. We have a second round of interviews. And then from there, we pick a group of people that we invite to come back and start astronaut candidate training. And so after years of studying, then you graduate and you become an astronaut and you get a silver astronaut pin. And then once you go to orbit, once you pass 100 kilometers, you're able to get a gold astronaut pin. And I got mine on our flight up in Dragon, which was pretty cool. Eating in space, it's challenging. It's definitely something that you have to pay attention to. The very first piece of gum that I chewed in space, I was chewing the gum, and then there was a split second where I thought the gum had just disappeared. I didn't know where it was. It was the strangest sensation. There was just a brief moment where the gum wasn't sticking to anything. It wasn't stuck to my teeth. It wasn't on my tongue. It wasn't on the roof of my mouth. It was actually floating in my mouth, but I didn't feel it. So it was a very strange thing to feel like, did that just disappear? And then I felt it, and I pushed up with my tongue and felt it. But for a split second, I didn't know where that gum was. And so there's all kinds of unique things that can happen. Going back to what would I say to everybody else to the civilians that want to become officers, or the officers that want to become test pilots, or whatever it is that you want to do. No matter what you want to do in life, we need to think about a couple of things. And I would say one is to appreciate what resilience means. Working hard and learning through challenges, not just getting through them, but learning and growing. Resilient. Be a lifelong learner in the classroom, in your training, in your tactics, in your ready room, in your personal life, in the church, inside and outside the classroom. And then being able to integrate all that together in your life will make you a very astute student of life. So be a lifelong learner. And the last one is to be a good teammate. I think the time we spend taking care of each other is never wasted. And if you do that enough, it'll help see that you have the things that you need, but then you'll also have a very satisfying life because you've helped so many other people get the things they need. Being resilient, being a lifelong learner, and then being a good teammate. Taking care of the people to your left, right, and forward and behind you is a great way to, whatever it is that you want to be, it's a great way to frame success and help you to get there. I think that's what I believe. And so stick to it, because you know what? I don't know what it is that you want to do, but I can tell you this: keep struggling and keep grinding, keep doing challenging things, because that's what makes you stronger. You don't go to the gym and take weight off. You go to the gym and put weight on, because that resistance makes you stronger. So keep at it, because you're getting better, and you know what? It's going to be okay.